1 minute until showtime.
Oh man, that was only about like a 101. A 101 with all these people here. You're ashamed.
Come on,
I'm ashamed
people.
of you.
You could do better than that.
Oh! No, no, no. That's about as good as it's going to get.
That's okay.
All right. Everybody's in the holiday spirit here, you know. So
Daytona 500 spirit.
that's right.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, from the world's most famous beach, from where beach racing began, it's the Legends of Racing radio show, live from racing's North Turn Beach Bar and Grill in Ponce Inlet, Florida. The Legends of Racing radio show with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Gary Keller.
Yeah, all right.
Hey, that's
Thank
more
you.
like it.
Hey, everybody. Everybody happy?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's not New Year's. You've been drinking already.
Well, you might have been expecting Gary Ballou here today, but he's under the weather. He called this
Yep.
morning and said he couldn't make it. So we went ahead and we drafted our very own legend, Mr. Owen Hopes, into
Yeah.
service.
Thank
All right.
you. Thank you.
It's been a while since he's been here, but
We're going to cover so much today. It's going to be fine. It's pre-Daytona 500 week. And ladies and gentlemen, next week we got Donnie Allison,
yep.
Ernie Irvin,
Yep.
Jeff Bodine. So
right.
if you're coming, please come early because it's going to be a hell of a packed house. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, it'll be
Okay?
awesome.
Be awesome.
Yep.
And we're sorry. Trust me, Gary Ballou loves the microphone. And if there's any way that he could have been here, he must have felt really bad not to come.
Yeah.
Because he loves to talk.
He sure does.
You know, and he loves being on the show.
Yeah.
So it's a shame.
Yeah.
But we'll still have a good time today.
Oh, yeah, speaking of
Absolutely.
people who like to talk, this guy right here, he's our resident legend. And,
Yeah.
all right, he's seen it all. He's done it all.
Yeah.
Been there, done it.
What's the first time you ever saw the beach?
That I can remember?
Yeah.
I was about 3 to 4 years old,
Uh-huh.
1935.
All right.
Yep. We moved down here from upstate New York, Amsterdam, and my dad didn't want to do any farming anymore, so he sent a telegram home to my mother and says, if you were to stay married to me, pack up my 3 daughters, my newborn son, your mother and my mother, and come to Daytona Beach because I'm not coming home. And I've been here ever since.
That's great. You've been making history ever since.
Yeah. And speaking of history, you have. I mean, in that brain of yours, you've met so many people. And the mechanical side is what you've been good at all your life.
Yeah.
You know, and you're renowned in this area, and you are one of the living legends that's still around
That's
to
for
talk
sure.
about it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm getting old, though.
Yeah.
I can tell it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got aches and pains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of NASCAR,
Yes, sir.
it's a wide spectrum. Richard Childress came out the other day and said he lost $3 million because they took that race away from his nephew, Austin Dillon, at Richmond.
Oh, boy.
Mike and I were talking. We've seen a lot worse wrecks than that one. I saw the replay yesterday, and it didn't look that bad to me that he should have been disqualified for the race. You know, give him the trophy, give him the award, slap him on the wrist, say if it happens again, we're going to do it. But don't just take it away, a race win from an organization like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it was a little bit heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was an accident. I don't think he turned into him purposely, and he knows better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Sometimes you got to scratch your head.
Yeah. Speaking of the race at Bowman Gray, it was great. It was a full house for the most part. It wasn't totally packed, but you know, NASCAR over the last 3 years, L.A. Coliseum 2 years, Bowman Gray this year. Don't get me wrong, quarter-mile track was fine. As far as I'm concerned, too many cars on the track. You know, you just don't see the speeds and the racing that those cars can do.
Yeah.
You know, you get in a jam, you're going to have to wreck somebody to get anywhere on the track. My suggestion is this, NASCAR. You got an extra week, and I'm telling you what, most of the drivers that are in the 500 are here by now.
Yeah.
They're here. I know that because I spent time in the pits, talked to them, saw them. They're here. Why not run the Clash here, Daytona 500, the week before?
Well, they used to.
Well, they used to, yeah. I mean,
bring the
perfect.
Clash back here.
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, they're here anyway.
Yeah.
Why not do it at the greatest spectacle in Cup stock car racing, right
Sure.
here?
Always has been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always has been. I don't get it. Until you go back, whenever everything else fails, come back to the grassroots. As
There
far
you
as I'm
go.
concerned.
There
Yes,
you
sir.
go.
And it's Daytona.
Yep.
And this is where that race belongs as far as I'm concerned. You know, but they're just saying, Gary Keller, he's retired. He's gone, isn't he?
That's right. Nobody listens to the old
Nobody's
guys.
going to listen to me.
No, sir.
Yeah.
When's the first time you saw Bowman Gray? You used to hang out there, didn't you?
Well, we went there for something. I forget what it was, but the track was pretty bad shape back then.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah, and we were there for some reason. I don't remember why.
You know, they used to run Cup cars there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were probably there with Junior.
Well, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Junior and
Maybe-
Richard Petty
Yeah.
and Bobby Allison.
Yep.
I can't remember if I saw Marvin there or not.
Oh, he was there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
know he
ran.
was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the track was built in 37.
Was it
Yep. They
37?
started racing cars there in 39 and started running midgets.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, as far as I'm concerned, a quarter-mile track is too small for that many cars.
Yeah. And
Oh,
for
yeah.
that
You
type
know.
of car.
You know, and that type of car. You
Yeah.
just said
It's,
it.
it's bumper to bumper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the only way you're going to get around somebody is to bump them.
Is bump,
Yeah.
bump and run.
And then everybody gets upset.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ty Gibbs, you know, jumping the fender.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Boy, he took off, didn't he?
Yeah. You know,
Jeez.
I like the kid. I really do.
Oh, he's got
You know,
spunk.
I like the fact that he advertises Jesus,
Yeah.
our Almighty. You know, I love that. You know, he's not ashamed of it, not embarrassed by it.
Nope.
That's a sponsor, so
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
like
neat.
I like the kid.
That's pretty
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, the NASCAR Hall of Fame is going to induct 3 people tonight: Ricky Rudd, Carl Edwards, and Ralph Moody. And you
Mr.
probably,
Moody.
yeah, you probably hung out with Mr. Moody a time or two, didn't you?
No, didn't hang out with him, but I have been in his shop and see how they worked and how they made all the wheels. And
Oh yeah, the Home and Moody shop.
Yep, the
Oh,
old Home
boy.
and Moody shop at the airport.
Yeah, right.
And we used to make all this stuff here. And then when they moved up to Charlotte, they started making it. And it was easier for Fox to buy it from them than us to try to make it here at our machine shop.
Oh really?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. The one down on Beach Street,
Yep.
North Beach Street.
Mm-hmm.
Atlas, not what Atlas Welding. It was, I don't remember the name.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
But it's right there on the river there for many, many, many years.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we used to get our parts there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he decided he wanted to move to Charlotte.
Yeah, rated.
Ray did,
Right.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, pack up everything we got. We're going to move to Charlotte. And I said, really? Yeah. So we moved to Charlotte. And I had that truck loaded. We got up there and stayed about 2 weeks. Ah, this crummy place. Excuse me. Going back to Daytona. So I loaded everything up and we come back to Daytona.
Jeez,
We did that twice.
you're kidding. Oh man.
And the third time he wanted to do it, I says, I'm not going. What do you mean you're not going? You got to go. I says, I don't have to do anything. He says, well, we're going. I said, well, I'll go on one condition. You pay me what you pay Bill.
Bill Holman?
Yes, Bill Holman.
Right.
And I says, you give me a car, and you rent me an apartment like you did Bill, and bring my salary up halfway decent to Bill's.
Right.
And I says, I'll go. I can't afford that. I said, well, then you can't afford me.
There you go.
Well, where are you going? I said, I've already got a job lined up. Ain't nobody going to hire you in Daytona. I said, don't kid yourself. I'm already hired. So I went to work for Daytona Marine Engine Corporation.
Oh, there you go.
And I worked for them for 10 years.
You built those engines for the offshore
Offshore
racers.
racing boats and offshore.
Mercury Outboards, correct?
No, not Mercury.
No, I thought it was Mercury.
Daytona Marine Engine Corporation.
Really?
Oh, really?
They were all Chevys.
No kidding.
All big block Chevys,
Oh,
twin
boy.
turbos.
Oh, boy. I bet they flew, huh?
They were sweetheart engines.
Yeah.
And we had 2 engineers that were supposed to be engine builders. And when I went there and hired on, I told D. Hyatt, which was my boss, what I did for a living. And he said, well, I'll hire you. I said, okay, I'll come to work for you. I brought my toolbox and everything. And when I took my toolbox off the back of my truck into the shop, D. Hyatt was on the phone talking.
He was talking to Fox?
He hung up the phone and he says, I just got off the phone with Fox. I says, really? He says, yeah. He told me not to hire you. Why? He says, you're no good. I says, that line, no good son of a gun. So,
Not a very good resume.
so I went to work, and I worked on the assembly line for a while. And the 2 engineers that we had, Sam Sarah and Bob Cons, were the engineers. Well, son, they were blacksmiths.
Oh, were they really?
They did not build an engine. It went out and completed any kind of a race.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I went up to D after being there for a little over 4 months. I still yet haven't touched a race engine.
Really? And you were there all that time?
Yep. And I says, Mr. Hyatt, I says, are you ever going to let me show you what I can do? He says, yeah. I said, well, I want to show you what I can do. How I was taught to build an engine. And I says, there's a lot of things that I do different than these guys do. I says, I was taught by Red Vogt, Ray Fox. I learned some stuff from Smokey when I sneak in and look. And Marshall Teague. I worked for all 3 of them. Never went to work for Smokey, though. And so I went to the warehouse and got me 2 brand new blocks, brought them back to the shop, and stripped them down. I took and had the crankshaft properly clearanced and balanced. I had the flywheel, I had everything balanced. And then I did my valve job the way I was taught to do a valve job. And springs, we spent hours testing springs, make sure every one of them was exactly the same, same amount of pressure.
Right.
We put the thing all together. We had an old gentleman out in the dyno room. We had a Clayton dyno. Then we had 7 water dynos.
Really?
That we broke engines in.
Holy cow.
To ship to our customers.
Right.
So he put it on the dyno, and this guy always had a little black book. And anything he found wrong, he'd write it down. Put your name alongside it. So he's out there and he finally cranks the engine up. He's sitting out there idling. And I'm sitting there looking in the dining room. I looked at Mr. Hyde. I says, "What's his holdup?" He says, "What do you mean?" I says, "Why don't he run the engine? It's a race engine. It's already broke in. Run it. It's got proper clearances." So it's still sitting out there idling. So I went out there, walked right by him and grabbed that throttle. Yeah! Run it right up to the... And he had a fit. He had a fit. "You can't do that. You can't do that." I said, "Yes, I can." So we built the engines, and they passed all right. And we took it, and the first race that boat, I think it was called Mammy's Whammy.
Oh, yeah?
And the first race we ran was from Miami to some little island over here, up the coastline.
All right.
It was 500 miles. Guess what? We won the race.
Really?
First race we've ever won.
Oh, son of a gun.
How long were they in business, Olen?
10 years, or a little over 10 years.
And they shipped engines all over the world, didn't they?
Yes, we shipped them Germany.
Oh, really?
Yep, we sent them to Paris. We even sent them to Vietnam, believe it or not.
Really?
Yep.
I'll be darned.
They were in our gunboats.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Twin engine turbos, gunboats.
Wow. That's amazing.
You could hear them coming.
Yeah, I bet you could.
And we
Yeah.
I had heard that Guy Lombardo
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
was one of the test for the company here in Daytona. No, that's not
No,
true.
he had already retired from.
Had he?
Yeah, he was a hydroplane racer,
Correct.
Yeah.
but
yes.
he had retired in the 50s.
Yeah, he's in the sports cars.
Yeah, and hydroplanes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our very own legend, Olen
Yay!
Cheer yourself on, Olen.
Here I am.
Oh, there.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Racing's original North Turn is our broadcast headquarters. If you're looking for a good drink, great entertainment, and the best in food, they're right on the beach at Racing's original North Turn. Come on down to dinner tonight. Here are a couple of testimonials. These are actual testimonials from people who have enjoyed the North Turn. Been there many times, always great food and drinks, great location on the beach. And another, what a great experience. It's my new favorite restaurant in the Daytona Beach area, Racing's Original North Turn on South Atlantic Avenue. That's A1A and Ponce Inlet, about 3.2 miles south of the Dunlawton Bridge and A1A intersection. It's Racing's Original North Turn, a restaurant, museum, bar, gift shop, live music. That's Racing's North Turn. Thanks to you, the original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill has been voted top 10 beach bar in Florida year after year after year. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Gary Keller.
Yay!
All righty. Thank you very much. We're here with Olen Hopes, talking about the good old days, and this segment's being brought to you locally by Daytona Flea and Farmers Market, voted one of the top 5 markets in the country by USA Weekend. And check our shop here, or our Shop Now network, and our Shop Now at Daytona Flea and Farmers Market Facebook page for the latest in vendor tours, and also by Staples on International Speedway Boulevard. Anything for the office, they can hook you up. And if you want to take a look at us live, you can go to the Legends of Racing radio page on YouTube, and then we go ahead and load it up an hour later, and you can watch it on Facebook. So by the time you get home after you're done here, you can check it out. Check out what you just saw. And we've got Big Mike here today. What's going on, buddy? You got a question for us?
Hello, how's everybody doing?
All right, Mike.
Olen, it's an honor to be able to stand here and ask you a question.
Well, I hope I can answer it for you.
I'm sure you can. Other than your family, your children, what is you believe your biggest accomplishment was in the racing industry?
Myself, when I was drag racing. Back in 1959, Jerry Harpo and myself built a rail, 92 inches long, weighed 1,154 pounds with a small block Chevrolet in it with 3 fish carburetors. We ran a quarter mile, 160 miles an hour in 9 seconds.
Well, that's pretty good for back then.
To me, that stands out the biggest. That was the most fun.
You really enjoyed that, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
That's wonderful. And to the rest of you guys there, I too believe that the Clash belongs here in Daytona. I also believe that the championship race belongs here in Daytona.
Yes.
And as we get to speakers that have been here, everybody keeps saying, don't worry about NASCAR, don't worry about NASCAR. My worry is not with NASCAR. My worry is with the fans, my nieces and nephews, not being able to afford to go to a race and experience what I got to experience coming up through the racing world.
Right. Yeah.
I'd like to hear your comments on that.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Yeah, it has kind of priced some folks out of the business, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah.
You figure
Well,
mom and a dad and a couple of
You know,
kids.
there's a lot to be said about the third generation, and unfortunately, NASCAR. Brian France was third generation. Lisa France was the third generation. Although Lisa pretty much stepped back and let Brian take over the reins, as we all know. Brian was well liked by a lot of people. Didn't end good. Wasn't a good story, but it's a story that's ended well for him on a personal basis. As far as I'm concerned, he's went through rehab. He's straight and narrow. He's making a lot of money for himself. Unfortunately, that time frame, I felt like NASCAR got too big for their drawers.
Yeah.
You know, and they were packing the stadiums, and that was all fine and good. And then they kept raising the prices, concessions. Hell, you can't go to Daytona 500 anymore for 2 people and spend for concessions, beers, and so forth. You can't spend any less than $350.
I bet you're right.
You know, somewhere in that vicinity. Same with a lot of the other tracks. So, you know, a lot of people can afford that. A lot of people can't. You know, and the races on television, they have been on TV. People have said, hey, I'll go out and buy a big screen TV for my living room. I'll have the boys over, and we'll make some chicken wings, and we'll drink some beer. We'll drink some Pabst Blue Ribbon. We'll take some, you know, Busch Light, you know, and we'll just do our thing and have a big time.
There you
And
go.
that's what the audience has referred to. I've said this time and time again, Buzz, we've talked about it. The millennials. We're the baby boom generation. We're going to be gone next 10, 20 years,
That's right.
most of us. Where is racing going to be? Your local tracks that used to be have been bought up. The land's been bought up. The tracks, local tracks disappear. Zeta and I were talking about that earlier, you know, the track into land. All those tracks have been eaten up by real estate,
That's right.
commercial, residential real estate.
Yep.
You know, you don't see on a Friday and Saturday night anymore, other than going down 40 from Volusia, a lot of guys leaving the track,
Yeah.
or New Smyrna. You don't see that much anymore. Used to years ago in the 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, you'd see a lot of traffic late at night from the drivers heading their way home.
Oh, sure. And you'd run two tracks at the same night, too.
Yeah,
there
correct.
was that much of a
Yeah.
demand.
So racing, I don't know. Our society has always been mesmerized with speed. You know, people like speed. They like it. But after the Daytona 500, I feel like the season goes into mode, mute season. And, you know, people just have no interest.
Yeah.
You know, I've said it time and time again. Every week, these NFL stadiums, every one of them are sold out. NASCAR can't even fill up one, other than Daytona, Talladega. And they wouldn't be filling up Daytona if they had the backstretch filled like they did. We've talked about that.
That's right.
But, you know, Daytona, Talladega fans are the best in the world.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah. How would you fix it, Olen?
What I want to say is, I think the season is just too darn long.
Oh, yeah.
Way too long.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they don't have a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guys don't get enough vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 36 races. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot of weekends.
Yep.
When we used to get ready to go to the track, I couldn't wait to get to the racetrack because we go to the racetrack, get the car ready, prepared, get it through inspection, and then we got to go to the motel and rest. If we were back here at Daytona, we worked from 7 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning every day. Every day. And
Jeez.
Ray Fox just says, well, that's the way it is. I said, well, we said, we got to have some time off. Just give us a little time off. We'd have coffee and breakfast at Barney's at the Circle. Then we go to work. We take off for lunch. Then we go back to work. We take off for supper. Around midnight, we take a break.
Jeez.
And we end up at Barney's.
Yeah.
We go back to the shop, and then everybody's grouchy, tired, wore out. Tools start flying, parts start flying. I make it a point to go over and start closing doors. Ray would holler at me, "What are you doing?" I says, "Going home and go to bed.
Yeah. Well, getting back,
See you in the morning."
getting back to what Mike was talking about, once something's broke, it's hard to fix it.
Yep.
And I think that's what the France family's trying to do. I think, Jim France. Did you ever expect him to get back involved in the sport to the extent that he's gotten involved in?
No, he's back in with both feet.
Both feet
Yeah.
now, and Lisa's involved, and the young boy, Lisa's son's involved now. They're trying to fix it. Don't know if it can be fixed anymore.
Yeah.
Buzz. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see where we are in a couple
Yeah.
of years.
I mean, you don't want to be a pessimist about something that you love. I spent 20 years as ownership in NASCAR, but I'd had enough. The bureaucracy, the red tape that you have to go through,
Yep.
the work, the labor, like Olen says, that you have to put in, week in, week out, the traveling. It just gets to the point where it's heavy duty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. But, I mean, you guys used to work 7 days a week, didn't you?
Every day.
Wow.
The only
Jeez.
time we got any rest was when we went to the racetrack.
Is that right?
5 o'clock, they close the shop of the track down,
Yeah.
and you go to the hotel.
Yeah. God darn that. Well, of course, you were younger back then. You could handle that sort of thing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you knew what to expect.
Yeah.
You know what it takes to get the product on the track back then. It takes
Yeah.
a lot of work.
Yep.
No doubt.
Something I loved doing back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wished I could have done what I wanted to do.
What's that, to drive?
Ray Fox promised me a chance if we had an extra car that Junior and he'd let us go out on the track, see what I could do.
With Junior Johnson?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it never happened.
No?
No, the cars were always tore up,
Oh, jeez.
or we never had the parts to finish one.
Yeah. Well, you had 3 at one time, I think, didn't you?
Yes, we had 3.
Uh-huh.
We had 2 asphalt cars and 1 dirt track car.
Mm-hmm.
The dirt track car belonged to Holly Farms.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Big sponsor
Oh,
in the
yeah.
70s. Yeah.
Yeah,
Holly
Junior,
Farms
Junior
Poultry.
Johnson.
That's right.
K.O. Yarborough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number
And-
11 car, correct?
Yep. That's right.
And they had the control over the dirt track car.
Mhm.
All we did was kept the engines.
Oh, really?
We built the engines for them.
Oh, okay.
Then Junior started building his own engines.
Yeah. He did okay with
Oh.
that, too.
Oh yes, he did. Well,
Yeah.
he learned from Ray Fox.
Yeah.
He learned a lot from Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Buzz, give us one of your Junior Johnson stories. I mean, that's one thing I've always been envious of you.
Oh.
I've told you this before. You've known so many people.
Yeah.
I got to know people in the last 20 years or so in
Yep.
NASCAR, but there was so much that went on.
Oh, yeah.
When you were in the Charlotte area,
Yeah.
you and Gwen migrated to the Charlotte area,
Right.
and you had so many experiences with, Cale,
Oh, boy.
Richard Petty,
Yep.
Junior Johnson. What's one of your favorite Junior Johnson
Well,
stories?
we're going to take a quick
We'll
break.
take a break and come back to
And
it.
as soon as we come back,
Okay.
I'll give you a good Junior Johnson story. Olen Hopes, everybody. We'll be right
Hey,
back.
thank you.
They love you, Olan. They love you.
Yeah.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. At Beach Boys Embroidery and Tees, it's all about making you happy. Beach Boys Embroidery can customize your athletic golf apparel, caps, hats, badges, buttons, magnets, backpacks, bags, totes, clocks, watches, and of course, T-shirts. Sure, they're at 2033 South Ridgewood Avenue in South Daytona, and they're waiting for you to call now. 386-255-5880. Beach Boys Embroidery and Tees. Let Aloha Marine get you on the water with huge discounts on great brands like Bayliner, Carolina Skiff, Hurricane, Key West, and Regal. Pay as little as $169 a month with 10% down and approved credit. Don't wait. Get to Aloha Marine, 1700 North Nova Road, Holly Hill, Monday through Saturday. 47 years and always better than boat show prices. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Gary Keller.
Hey, thank you, everybody. We're here with Olen
Thank you,
Hopes,
thank you.
our resident legend. We're tickled to death to have him, and this segment's being brought to you locally by Homewood Suites by Hilton over on Bill France Boulevard. Might be a little tough getting a room for the next couple of weeks.
Man, that'd be pretty rough.
Yeah, but if you want to impress some folks, if they come into town and you want to hook them up, they have every room's a suite, and they have a great free happy hour and a free breakfast bar, and they're great people, and there's something to think about. And we got Tony here. Tony, you got a question?
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Hey,
time.
Tony.
Great to see you up there, Olen.
Good to be back.
Yep. It's not racing per se, but it's a hell of a story. The 1960 Buick Endurance Test.
Yes.
I'd like to hear that again.
Well, Buzz can help me with that. The Buick, I still to this day, I don't know how I got the job other than that I knew how to work that big forklift they had. And
You're hired.
I was hired. And we did a Buick run. It was a test to see how far the car would go without stopping, other than tires and gas and drivers. And we drove that car at the average speed at 25 miles an hour
Yep.
for 10,000 miles.
Yep. It was 10,000 miles in 5,000 minutes.
Yep.
Crazy. And you were part of that deal, weren't you?
Yes, I did.
Did they run it on a dyno or?
No, they ran the
They-
speedway.
Really?
They
Yeah.
ran regular 61 Buicks, two-door hardtops. And we had a refueling tank in one and a catch tank in another. And we refuel it like we did with the airplanes. Just like that.
Really?
And
On the run.
on the run, on the backstretch.
Yep.
So we'd fill up the tank, change the tires. Fireball Roberts was driving. He says, Olen, he says, when Marvin gets over in that corner right there, you holler at me, and I'm going to floorboard it, and we're going to go. We're going to try to set a new fueling record. I said, okay. So Marvin was coming around. I says, he's there. So he took off. We went down pit road into turns number 1. Went up on a high bank. Fireball hasn't lifted his foot a bit. And we're coming, and he says, how close is he getting? I says, he's almost right behind you. So when we got ready to drop down on the track, Marvin was right there. We dropped down. That nozzle went boom. Shot 14 gallons of gas in that gas tank. And the light would come on. All Fireball had to do was touch his brake, and he just pull off and leave. We did that refueling run at 128 miles an hour.
All right.
That's crazy.
Yep.
In standard cars.
In standard automobiles.
Yep.
They were automatics. Nothing souped up. They were stock engines.
General Motors provided them, I assume.
Do what?
General Motors provided the cars. How
Yep.
many were there? 3?
Buick Motor Division. Yes.
Yeah.
See.
Yep. They furnished the cars.
That's cool. All right, Tony. Thank you.
Yeah. A Junior Johnson story.
Yes, Junior Johnson.
Okay,
story.
Junior Johnson's talking about one night he's he's on a moonshine run, and the revenuers are behind him, and he finally got a chance to slip away from the revenuers, and he looked down and his gas tank's about out, so he shot down this side road, and he sees this farm, and there's a tractor sitting out in the field. So he went over to check it out, and sure enough, the tractor's full of gas. So he got the old siphon hose out, and he siphoned the gas into his car, and he put a $5 bill on the seat and put a rock on it and took off down the road. So about a week later, he's back at the same place, and he sees a farmer out there, so he stopped and he told him what he did. And the farmer said, yeah, he said, I wonder what happened to my gas and where did this money come from. But he said, son, he said, you gave me too much money. And the guy gave me $2 back.
That's a great story.
That's a good one.
And Junior was full of them, too.
Yeah. You know, it's funny how things get started. I mean, you know, as for NASCAR getting started, we all know past history, and you know the moonshiners were such a significant part
Oh, sure.
of the development of NASCAR, and they, you know, it all started with trying to outrun the cops,
Yeah.
basically, and that's how come a lot of the grassroots racers, Junior Johnson, who
Yeah.
else was really involved?
Oh, the Flock brothers were involved.
yeah.
Were they?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Red Byron, who was the first champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, in fact, Red Vogt, who you trained under, old
Yep,
Pappy,
yep.
yeah, he had a shop in Atlanta where he would build the engines for the revenuers and for the moonshiners. And so he was asked, well, who do you do a better job on? He says, well, the moonshiners pay in cash.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't want any of my customers to go to jail.
Yeah.
So he put a little bit more tweaking
Yeah.
into the moonshiners'
Ray,
engines.
Ray Fox did the same thing.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Ray did?
We had a bunch of boys down from Jacksonville
Okay.
that used to run Shine.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be darned.
And
How about your Junior Johnson story, Olen?
my Junior Johnson story started in the morning. We were getting ready to go to Bristol, Tennessee for the race. And Junior took out in a Pontiac, big four-door. And while Bill Holman was behind us in a 61 Pontiac, and we're going through the mountains. Now here we got 2 race drivers. Now they're starting to race each other through the mountains. And we come up on this hill, and the road looks like it goes between 2 little mountains. And all you see is clouds.
Oh, Lord.
And it's a real sharp 90 to the left. Well, Junior gets through it all right. I keep looking in the review mirror for Wild Bill. I says, Junior, you see Bill? No, I don't see him. I says, he didn't make the turn.
Oh, jeez.
I says, he went off that cliff.
Yeah.
So I've tried to get Junior to stop. Nah, he's all right.
Mm-hmm.
No, he ain't.
Yeah.
Bill and I was pretty good friends. So I says, stop the car and turn around and go back and let's see if he's all right. Or if he really went over. So we did. And all of a sudden, here comes that Pontiac up the road. We stopped. What the hell happened? He said, well, I tried to take the turn too fast and the wheel came off.
Really?
Yeah,
Holy cow.
the right front wheel on that Pontiac came off.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
That's my little story
Yeah.
about it.
I had that happen to a 61 Ford Falcon one time.
Did you really?
I was on my way to work.
You got it going fast enough to do that?
Off of 75, yeah.
Oh, really?
In Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, be
Yeah.
darn.
Stories we remember.
Good old days.
Everybody's got to lose a tire along the way of life.
Of course, of course. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with Olen Hopes.
All right.
Yeah.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Racing's original North Turn is our broadcast headquarters. If you're looking for a good drink, great entertainment, and the best in food, they're right on the beach at Racing's original North Turn. Come on down to dinner tonight. Here are a couple of testimonials. These are actual testimonials from people who have enjoyed the North Turn. Been there many times, always great food and drinks, great location on the beach. And another, what a great experience. It's my new favorite restaurant in the Daytona Beach area, Racing's original North Turn on South Atlantic Avenue. That's A1A in Ponce Inlet, about 3.2 miles south of the Dunlawton Bridge and A1A intersection. It's Racing's original North Turn, a restaurant, museum, bar, gift shop, live music. That's Racing's North Turn. Thanks to you, the original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill has been voted top 10 beach bar in Florida year after year after year. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Gary Keller.
All righty. Hey, thank you very much here. We're here with Olen Hopes telling stories, and some of them are true, I guess. Another real quick Junior Johnson story. He talked about when he was a little kid. He was about 5, and his brother Fred was about 7. And the revenuers came, and they were looking for his daddy. And the largest moonshine raid in the history of the nation happened at the Johnson farm. I mean, the old man was in it for more than just a hobby. So anyway, the revenuer says to Fred, he says, where's your daddy? He said, he's up on the mountain. He said, well, you want to take me up there? He said, no, sir. He said, well, you want to tell me where he's at? He said, nope. He said, I'll tell you what. He said, I'll give you each a brand new dollar bill if you tell me where your dad is. And he says, well, I'll go up there, I'll get your dad, I'll come on down, I'll pay you. And Fred said, no, we want the money up front, because if you go up there, you ain't coming back.
Well, he spent a lot of time in the pen, didn't he? Junior's father?
Oh, yeah. He and Junior, too. Yeah. Junior spent a year in Chillicothe, Ohio, and in 1986, he was pardoned by President Reagan. Until the day he passed away, he had that pardon hanging up in his house with a spotlight shining on it 24 hours a day. He said it was the proudest possession he had.
Yeah. You know, it's so much fun to look back at the history of our sport and the people, the personalities of the people that really started the sport, the Kales and the Junior. How you could probably relate to this, Buzz, and answer this. How did Kale and Junior get along?
Oh, they got along great.
Did they?
Yeah, they won three championships.
Yeah, I know they did.
Yeah, and they did real well. They were two kindred spirits, more or less. A couple of country boys that were extremely sharp.
Yeah.
And then he got a hold of Waltrip, and he talked about, he said, I went from a thoroughbred to a jackass.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so now you and Junior used to hang out together, didn't you?
Yeah, we hung out a little bit.
Yeah.
Not much, but a little.
You and David Pearson?
Yeah, I knew David.
Uh-huh.
David and I were good friends.
Yep.
Yeah, and
might have been the greatest driver.
Leroy Albro.
Oh, yeah.
Another one from Jacksonville.
Yep.
Yeah, they were all good guys. Well, I got along with them all.
Yeah.
Just to think what David Pearson could have accomplished.
Oh boy!
From a record setting. I mean, you talk about the Pettys, you talk about the Earnhardts and so forth. Mm-hmm. You said it best. Quite possibly, the greatest driver that ever drove a race car.
Oh yeah. The only 3 times he ever set out to win the title. He won it.
But he just never wanted to run full time, did he?
Nope.
No, he didn't want that week in, week out grind for
That's
one.
right.
And plus, did he have a job?
No. Well, he just invested wisely. He owned properties and houses and things like that. You know. Yeah. But he did real well. He had a perfect life, and he was almost anonymous too. he'd walk around Darlington in his later years, and people wouldn't recognize him. He can come and go as he please.
Yeah, him and his buddies.
Yeah, he and his buddies. That's right. He was quite a guy, and he and Petty finished first and second to each other 63 times, and Pearson won 33 of them, and Richard won 30 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Wow.
Isn't that something, huh?
Yeah.
First and second.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, Pearson drove for you when you worked for Fox, right?
Yeah. We got him off the roof. We went to the track at Charlotte. We didn't have a driver. And Norris Friel, the chief inspector, says, "Ray, who's your driver?" He said, "I don't have a driver." He says, "I know a good young man. It needs a ride." He says, "Introduce me to him." He said, "Well, come on, I'll take you and introduce you to him." So we got in the car, and we went over about a mile away from the track. And David was up on the roof, putting the roof on a house,
Really?
putting shingles on. And Norris Friel yelled up there, says, "You want to go racing?" He says, "Yeah, I'd like to go racing." He says, "Well, get down here and talk to Ray Fox. He needs a driver." So he come off the roof, and Ray says, would you like to drive my race car?" Pearson says, "Oh, hell yeah." So put him in the car. He yelled back to the boys that are up on the roof. He says, took his tool bag off, dropped it on the ground, says, "I won't be back, boys. I'm going racing."
Yeah.
So he went racing.
Those are the stories that are priceless.
Yeah.
So we got back to the racetrack. The car had already been through inspection. He looked the car over, got in it, strapped himself in, put a helmet on, and went out on the track. Made 4 or 5 laps. Foxy motioned for him to come in, so he came in. And
You're hired.
he pulled up and he said, "All right, David, what does the car need?" "Mr. Fox," he says, "that car don't need nothing." He says, "I have never driven anything so fast in my life."
Oh, my gosh.
So, sure enough, we set the car on the pole. No, we didn't. We were sitting 3rd row inside. And when they dropped that green flag for the World 600, all of a sudden you saw a car, number 3 Pontiac dog track car, on the grass passing everybody on the tri-oval. And then he took the lead. He won his first Indian NASCAR race.
Yep.
In our Pontiac.
Amazing.
Wow.
His first race.
Isn't that something, huh?
Yeah. What year was that?
61.
61.
Yeah.
We got a question from Larry. Hey, Larry.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, Olen.
Hi.
Happy to see you here. I see you every week, but it's happy to see you up there. I have a question for all y'all. Maybe you know, maybe you don't want to say. But what happened with Junior Johnson, and why did he leave NASCAR so abruptly?
Interesting. Do you have any question there or any answer on that?
Yeah, I think he was having a little health problem
Yeah. Plus,
with his ticker.
and he had a couple little kids at home.
He
And he just felt like it was time to go.
Yeah.
That was his second marriage, wasn't it? Or second or third?
Second.
And probably his 88th relationship. He wasn't known for celibacy.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hold on. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
That's
That's
okay, Ronnie.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, that's Ronnie Thomas, Rookie of the Year Cup Series, right
That's
there.
right.
Hey, Ronnie. Yeah.
You don't see many like him.
No,
come to
sir.
show.
That's for sure. Great guy.
Beware. There's probably going to be a few Cup drivers here next week.
Yo.
Rumor has it that if Ross Chastain can clear his schedule, he's going to try to be here with his dad.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome,
Yeah.
huh? Good old
Yeah.
Ross.
Yep. David Reagan.
Yeah.
You
Mr.
know, you
Reagan.
just don't know who you're going to see.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
just like Ronnie right there. I mean, what a great surprise to see him there.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, the
He
Ram-
looks good.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Don't be shy next time. Sorry. we have our security dogs around here. You know,
Yeah.
so, anyway,
But
I mean, tomorrow, I guess are we to the point where we need to start talking about the parade tomorrow?
oh yeah, we have the beach parade tomorrow. It starts at 10 o'clock, and we need
Yes.
volunteers. If you could be here at 6:45 in the morning, we'd be most appreciative. And we really could use some help there.
Parking cars.
Yeah, parking cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work
Yeah.
out really well if we can get some of you down here, and it's going to be a heck of a deal. It's going to be awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
we'll be right back. We'll have a question from Bill here in just
Yes.
a minute.
All right.
Okay.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Daytona Flea and Farmers Market is still the one for great savings and the best variety. Whether you need flowers and trees for your home or you're looking for great prices on Daytona Beach souvenirs, the market is the place to go. The market features 1,000 booths, 2 air-conditioned malls, a restaurant, and 9 snack shacks. Hops Grill features gourmet burgers and garden blend salads. Treat yourself to a great variety of brat and hot dog creations at the Dog House, or enjoy a refreshing drink at the Seltzer Oasis. The market is open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and is 90% undercover, so you can shop rain or shine. There's never a charge for parking or admission. Enjoy our monthly classic car cruise-in on the first Saturday of every month, and garage sale weekend, the third weekend of every month. See all we have to offer at DaytonaFleaMarket.com or like us on Facebook. Discover Daytona's most unique shopping experience, the Daytona Flea and Farmers Market, just a mile west of the Speedway. We're back from where it all began, racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Gary Keller.
Oh, thank you very much, everybody. Hey,
Hey.
it's Daytona 500 time, and the Daytona 500 is sold out. But we have 4 tickets that were,
That's right.
that were given away for a $25 donation. You get a chance on 2 tickets.
And we're going to draw at the end of the show. Is that correct, Andy? Yeah, or Mike?
All right.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you
that's
still
great.
have time to buy.
Yeah. So something to think about there. $25 for 2 tickets for the Daytona 500. It's in the Old Field Grandstand, right out at the end of Pit Road, coming off the 4th turn. Super duper deal.
Yep.
And all the money goes to the Legends of Racing Foundation.
Goes to a good cause.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
for sure. So step right on up here and get your tickets or your
Yeah.
chance for a ticket.
I always get so excited during Daytona 500 a week. It's the start of a new journey. It's almost like the Super Bowl is at the beginning of the year,
That's right.
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
and it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
Bill,
Mr. Bill.
there's a man of knowledge about sports.
Hey, Bill,
Yes.
you got a question for Olen?
One of the first things I think we should get cleared up is how old this old guy is. You want to tell us how old you are?
I'm 80. No,
You're so old you don't even remember nothing.
no, I don't remember.
Oh, you're 89, right?
89.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's in his 90th
How
year.
about that, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. That's not too bad. You done
Yeah,
all
doing
right.
good, man.
He took care of himself.
Yeah,
Uh,
you worked hard, didn't you?
I think one of the questions or issues is that we talk about race cars, but I heard you built a few hot rods in your day,
Yes.
and I heard you got a motor from a guy that belongs to the Hall of Fame. That guy Smokey. You get a motor from Smokey ever?
Yes, I did.
You want to tell us about that, or is it secret?
No, it's not a secret. That's how I got involved in racing.
Okay, that's
Uh,
a good one to tell then.
I had a 40 Ford Coupe, deluxe coupe, and I was coming to Daytona Beach for something, and I looked over at Smokey's garage, and there's such this big semi over there, unloading engines after engines. So I whipped in, And I'm looking at these engines, and Smokey says, "What do you want?" I said, "I want to see what you guys are doing." He says, "We're unloading engines. You're in the way." I said, "Those small block Chevrolets?" He says, "Yes. They're Corvette engines. Some of them were fuel the first year for fuel injection. They had 4 speeds behind them." And I says, I'd like to buy one." He says, "You can't afford one." He was right. I don't have any money. I couldn't afford one. So I left, went downtown to my sister's store, saw my mother and talked to them a little bit. And on the way back home to Holly Hill, they were still unloading engines. I said, "Good golly." So I went, I pulled in again. He says, "I thought I told you to go on home." I says, "I want to buy an engine. I want to buy one of those fuel injection engines with a 4-speed. You can't afford it." I says, "Well, tell me how much you want for it." "Not for sale. I can't sell them. They're here for experimental work." I said, "Well, I'll be a field engineer for you. Sell it to me and I'll put it in my car and I'll drive the hell out of it." And he says, "Can't do it." So the truck drivers started getting on my side. So they kept after him and after him and after him. So he says, "Smokey, all you're going to do is put it on a dyno and blow it up. Sell him an engine. Let him run it." And he says, "I can't do that."
We got 5 minutes, Olen.
So he says, "All right, I'll sell you an engine. $400. I had $400.
Holy cow.
I laid it on the table. I took the engine home in the back of my trunk. I had it in the car the next morning down at Smokey's garage.
No kidding. I bet you felt like a pig in doo-doo.
Well, I had the fastest car in Daytona,
Yes, sir, you did.
bar none.
Oh.
I guess the only thing I can say is just too bad it wasn't a Ford motor, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
I had my dealings
Thank
with
you,
the
Bill.
Fords.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill. Hey,
Thank
well,
you.
we got some bad news this week. We had a good friend, Wayne Andrews, passed away. He was a Grand American champion in NASCAR back in the 70s. Heck of a good short track driver. And Will Cagle, who was, he's been on our show before. Great driver, 86 years old, passed away the other day in Tampa. And he did it all. He raced everything from Legends cars to Silver Crown Sprints to Grand National to you name it. And he was great. He won hundreds and hundreds of races. And just a real fine fella, too.
Yeah.
Good guy. He would have been here.
Yeah.
And in fact, he's going to be getting an award at the Florida Short Track Reunion.
Yeah.
And so that'll be in March. And let's see, when is it? It's March 16th at the Crane Lakes, the Crane Roost, the Crane Lakes. And
I can't believe Ronnie Thomas is here.
I know, isn't that great,
It's
huh?
unreal.
Yeah.
Boy, that's something. A little piece of NASCAR history there.
So
That's
if you want to
great.
talk to a legend,
Yep.
is he still here?
Yeah, he's right in the back
Yeah,
there.
Okay.
Yeah, he can tell you the story. He can tell you some good
We
stuff.
need to have him on the show sometime.
I know.
Yeah, maybe we can talk
sure
to him
do.
about that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get him on there. So we got some folks we got to say thank you to. We have Danny over there working the board.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we have Mike and Dave with the applause signs right there.
Security.
Yeah, security. And then we've got Larry and Bill and Tony
And
Mike. Yeah, for their questions. We appreciate
Knowledge guys.
Yep.
Knowledge guys about the sport. You
Yep.
just don't find them around anymore, ladies and gentlemen, like you used to.
that. Well, I'll tell you, these guys are sharp. They know
Yeah,
their stuff.
they know their stuff.
Okay.
Yep. And hang around for a little bit. We're going to go ahead and draw for those Daytona 500 tickets. If you want to buy a chance on them, you can check with Danny right here at the board.
$25.
Yeah,
You never know.
$25
You
for-
might win them.
For 2 tickets for the Daytona 500. Heck of a
Yeah.
deal. And
Really.
we'll be going ahead and drawing right after the show.
Yeah. So please, ladies and gentlemen, next week, try to be here by 11 o'clock. It's going to be a packed house.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Don't forget the beach parade tomorrow.
Beach parade tomorrow.
Yep.
Big week here.
Yep. And if you feel like coming down and helping out, 6:45 would be terrific. We'd love to have you. We'd be honored to have you, actually. And it's going to be a heck of a good time.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yep. And a big round of applause for Mr. Olen Hopes here.
Olen Hopes, a legend in his own right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, folks.
Yes, he is a legend in my eyes, too.
I want to thank you all for showing up today and enjoy Speed Weeks with us here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
I'll see you next Friday.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. Don't forget, next week, Bodine.
Gary Blue, I know you're out there listening probably.
Yep.
Hope you feel better, my man.
Yep.
Because he
Get
would
better, buddy.
Yeah, he
Get
would have been
better.
here if he could have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's next week, Bodine, Irvin, and Allison. So
Oh.
don't forget, next week, we'll see you then.
See ya.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
The Legends of Racing radio show originates live from the very spot where beach racing began. Racing's North Turn Beach Radio show.